She thought she had the power. She always did. We had been together for years, living what I once believed was a normal life, a marriage built on compromise, routine, and promises whispered in the dark. But over time, I noticed the shift, the subtle dismissals, the cold looks, the unspoken resentments. And eventually, it became clear. She wanted control, absolute control, and she would test it, push boundaries, and even issue ultimatums to see if I would bend. That night, she confronted me with one of her classic ultimatums. "I can't stay in this marriage if you don't do this," she said, her voice sharp, deliberate. "You either change or we're done. Pick now." Her ultimatum wasn't just about the marriage. It was about power, about dominance, about proving that she could dictate my actions, my decisions, my life. She expected tears, begging, apologies, anything that would reaffirm her control. Instead, I did something she hadn't anticipated. I paused. I looked her in the eye. I let the weight of her words sink in. Then I smiled. Not cruelly, not in mockery, but with calm, quiet certainty. "You know," I said softly, "I've spent years trying to make this work. I've bent over backward, sacrificed, compromised, and given everything I could. But ultimatums? That's not love. That's not respect. That's manipulation. And I'm done playing that game." Her eyes widened. She blinked. She opened her mouth, clearly ready to fire back, but no words came. "I'm not going to respond to demands," I continued. "I'm not going to let someone else decide my worth or my actions. You want change? Fine. Change starts with honesty. Change starts with respect. But I won't change under threat. I won't compromise my dignity for anyone, not even for you." She stumbled backward, momentarily unsteady, as if she had expected the reaction to be the opposite. A groveling, a desperate plea, a surrender. Instead, she found calm. Silence. And a man who had finally decided he was worth more than her manipulations. "You," she started, trying to regain control, but I interrupted. "No. This isn't about you anymore. This is about me. I've realized something important. Love doesn't thrive under pressure. Respect can't be forced. And life is too short to spend bending to someone who sees you as an option, not a partner." The room was quiet except for our breaths. The tension was thick, almost tangible. I could see the storm behind her eyes, confusion, panic, disbelief. She had underestimated me, assumed I would always be pliable, always be obedient, always be at her mercy. But I wasn't. "I'm walking away," I said finally. "You can keep your ultimatums, your control, your threats. I'll take my life, my freedom, and my self-respect. That's something you'll never have over me again." And then I left. Not with shouting, not with slamming doors, not with vindictive words. Just a slow, deliberate exit that left her frozen in place, staring at the space where I had been, realizing too late that she had lost the leverage she thought she held. In the days and weeks that followed, she tried. Subtle texts, hesitant calls, awkward attempts at conversation. Each time I responded with calm, measured distance. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I didn't explain myself. I simply lived my life on my terms. Her ultimatums had failed. Her power had dissolved. And in that quiet, unshakable control over myself, I found strength I hadn't known I possessed. The greatest shock for her wasn't my leaving. It was my composure, my refusal to crumble, my insistence on self-respect. She had expected a reaction. She had expected chaos. She had expected pain. But all she got was the truth. I wasn't hers to command. Months later, I looked back on that night as a turning point, a moment of clarity that changed everything. It wasn't the end of a relationship. It was the beginning of reclaiming myself, my dignity, my peace, my life. Ultimatums are easy. Power is tempting. But real strength? Real strength is knowing your worth, standing firm, and refusing to be anyone's pawn. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do in the face of manipulation isn't scream. It's walk away with quiet, unwavering confidence. She thought she could bend me. She thought she could control me. She thought she had the power to define my life. Instead, she got stunned silence. A man who refused to play her game. And a life that was finally his own.